Hello, welcome to this episode of Vain Intercourse with Dinta. I am Dinta, and if it's your first time coming across my channel on my page, please do subscribe, follow, and interact. Okay, so right here, no one is an island of knowledge, so we're here to learn. And if you know better, please tell us better, so you can help someone not have an awkward life. So today we are talking about this interesting topic that's asking if partners should tell each other their sexual fantasies. Should you confide in your partner, about your sexual fantasies? Would you want your partner to tell you about their sexual fantasies? And before we dive right into it, I like to give definitions as an English teacher. So, very simply, sexual fantasies, they're just like the imaginations you have that get you excited, all right? Those imaginations that are exciting to you, that arouse you sexually, like that make you want to do stuff. So they're still inside here. You haven't implemented them. So if you implement them, they could become a habit. They're no longer fantasies. Fantasies are just like imaginations. They're right here. You haven't, brought them to light, but you're just imagining it's going to be like this. And, sometimes your fantasies could just like go really, 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 really wrong, because, how it's happening here is very different from how it's happening on Earth, because in real life, there are other factors that are responsible for how things play out. All right. So because in your head, maybe you're thinking the waiter is going to be sensible. In real life, there are not going to be. You're hoping it's going to be sunny, it could start to rain. You just do not know. You've been hoping maybe the finish is like this, it's going to be like that. They are fantasies, so they are perfect in your head. That's what I'm saying, like those fantasies you have in your head, right? Are you going to tell your partner about them? Do you want your partner to tell you about their sexual fantasies? Now let that sit in. Has it sat in? In fact, I'm here waiting for that person who would come to the comment section to ask me, "Oh, Dinta, will you tell your partner about your sexual fantasies?" Then the fight will start. They will fight it, and I know I will win. This isn't about me. It's about you and everyone else. Okay? So, are you going to tell your partner about your sexual fantasies? And to dive right into it, I would say, is that fantasy something you would actually want someone to remember about you long term? Because I want to tell you that they are not going to forget about it. In fact, after an amnesia attack, they are going to remember it, actively remember it. In fact, if they are under anesthesia, it's probably one thing they would want to say. In fact, they would say subconsciously. You get? So, is that fantasy something you are comfortable, having someone else know about? This is where I get to tell you that to share that kind of information about yourself or something you intend to do, all right, you should have been on a kind of journey with this particular partner, all right? Except it's just like, something so light, like you could just do, randomly, that are not that deep. Do you get? Because I have listened to some people's or read about some people's sexual fantasies running this series, and I tell you, boy, most of these fantasies are wilder, and I'm wondering, like, so this is what you want to do to somebody's son. This is what you want to do to somebody's daughter. This is what you want to do with somebody. Do you get? So, except the fantasy is not like, that big, but you have to know that some people's fantasies involve blood. Please, Concord. Yeah. Some people's fantasies involve blood, right? Did you get? And people are really proud. Some people are very proud to just talk about their fantasies as if it's just like nothing, because I don't know where they get the boldness from. All right? Fantasies are not bad because they're just here yet, not done. But is that fantasy something you would want people to remember you, or your partner to remember you for? Like, is it going to change the way they look at you? Because the truth is that it's not everything you conceive that you birth. Sometimes you miscarry some visions, miscarry some ideas, just miscarry them, you understand? Just like terminate them, remove them. Don't let them bloom to fruition. Just do you get? So should you tell your partner about your sexual fantasies? It's up to you. It's up to you. It depends on the fantasy. All right, it depends on the fantasy, and it also depends on the partner. In fact, there are partners that you've gone, through thick and thin with. I know that sexual fantasy is just like, it's just like milk in a glass of tea. You get, it's just like milk in a mug of tea. Like, it's just it's not big, you understand? And there are some people you get to tell your sexual fantasies, and they start to question their life choices in choosing you in the first place. Actually, I don't want to call names. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if you have a partner you do not have great communication with, or you have a traditional partner, right, or a conservative partner, right, or a highly religious partner, or people who like with some sane beliefs, some people, like people who also believe that you can actually put your mouth in their on their genitals, but they can't put theirs on yours because it's against their belief. There are people like that. There are people like that, and they live amongst us. Like, they feel, their penis is the promise, that shakes your life, the crown over your life, or they feel like their vagina is the canal that gives you the portal of life for you, right? And they expect you to put this your God-given mouth on their genitals, but they cannot do same for you, because yours is from the devil, theirs is divine, whatever. There are people like that. So I mean, if you're dealing with people and you realize that they are this kind of people, please keep your fantasies to yourself. It could ruin that relationship, especially if the relationship is important to you, or if you love them, because sometimes they will listen to you depending on the mood. All right, depending on, maybe the mood is so nice, they would listen to you, but then something else happens the next day, or consequently, and they get to remember what you told them, and they judge you by it, and forgetting, oh, that was just what I thought about. All right, so so that's all I have to say. If you think otherwise, please tell me in the comments section. Very good person. And with that, we come to the end of this segment today. Do interact. I'll see you again in our next episode. This is Vain Intercourse, and I am Dinta, Vain Intercourse with Dinta. Peace.